Hello and welcome to our election special program. The election season in Uttar Pradesh is at its feverish pitch right now. All political parties, their star campaigners have hit the road. They're campaigning, wooing voters to ensure that they vote in their favor or in favor of their candidates. We are in the city of Taj today, that's Agra, the place which is known for its beautiful piece of monument, the Taj Mahal, which is also one of the 7 wonders of the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But in Agra, it's not just about Taj. It's about several other issues which are very, very important to the people of this city and surrounding areas as well. We will have a discussion on what exactly are the issues in this election and whether or not these issues are at the forefront with all political parties and the voters as well. We have a distinguished panel of guests with us today, 4 of them. Let's start with Dr. Arunoday Vajpayee. He is the HOD of Political Science Department in Agra College. Then we have Sumit Bibhav. He is a businessman, entrepreneur. He is the president-elect of the CREDAI chapter, Agra chapter of CREDAI. And then we have Rajeev Saxena, a senior journalist from the city, and we also have Vishal Sharma, somebody who represents the Agra Tourism Welfare Chamber as their joint secretary, somebody who gets to interact a lot with the tourists for the city for which it is famous, the Taj Mahal. Let's begin with Dr. Vajpayee. Yeah. Dr. Vajpayee, first and foremost thing which comes to mind when somebody comes to Agra is obviously the Taj. And the city attracts a lot of tourists, not only domestic but international as well. But when it comes to elections, Taj seems to take a backseat. It's several other issues which seems to come in the forefront. So what, according to you, right now are the issues which are hogging the limelight in this election season?
You are, I think, interested in Agra, particularly Agra.
Agra, nearby surrounding areas.
Yeah. In Agra, actually, there are many issues, but most important for issues for which people and leaders have been agitating from time to time, like this international airport in Agra city, drinking water, this barrage, drinking water supply. Then, of course, there was agitation for a long time about the bench of High Court in this city. And usually all other issues like unemployment, corruption, and irresponsible administration, these kind of issues are always there, but these are some of the specific issues to Agra which haunt political parties. And recently there was some discussion in Amar Ujala, and people gathered and they asked that on these issues let us have a reaction of all candidates for how they will tackle these issues. So for me these are the special issues.
Okay, Saxena Saab, you've been a senior journalist, you've had a long and distinguished career in the city reporting on several issues for several publications. Do you agree with one fact that these are the issues? And also the second part of my question is, have the issues remained same over all these years? You must have covered a lot of elections in Agra, in Uttar Pradesh. The issues seems to have remained the same. It's again the basic amenities.
Most of issues are same, but scene is totally changed.
Okay.
Main issue is at present. Main issue is unemployment. Unorganized urbanization of rural area, and expansion of municipal limits. These are the major issues. ADA activities. You know, our district is under eco-sensitive zone, floodplain zone, third trapezium zone. ADA का development regulatory plan. So these are the major problem created for natural growth and development of our city.
So apart from what issues Dr. Vajpayee said, these are the ones which are also
these are also.
You spoke about infrastructure. Let me bring in the man who is related to the infrastructure sector, Sumit Bibhav, as president-elect of CREDAI's Agra chapter. Do you agree with Saxena Saab that the unplanned, infrastructure development of Agra in its outer periphery, just to ensure that those who are coming to Agra, they are accommodated, that is not, that's one of the problems, and it could have been done in a much better way, in a much planned way.
I agree with you 100%, and I agree with Saxena ji also. The infrastructure in Agra city has not been planned properly. You see, this is a tourism-centric city, and we require the infrastructure to be developed which should suit to the needs of the tourists as well as the residents of the city. But somehow there is a feeling that there has not been enough emphasis on the infrastructure and the planned infrastructure growth. You see, there are patchworks being done. You have a few things happening here and a few things happening there, but nothing is planned, nothing is happening cohesively. So that is one point, and we need to bifurcate the infrastructure also into two segments. One is the permanent infrastructure development, and the second is the operation infrastructure development, like the traffic problem. Now this is a very small thing which can be managed easily. The infrastructure is there, but the management is missing somehow.
And that has a negative impact on people who are visiting the city, specifically the tourists.
The cleanliness. Now, just a couple of years back, this road on which we are sitting here right now, this has been developed beautifully. Now, I really hope that this remains this way.
Okay, let me bring in Vishal Sharma here, who is Joint Secretary of the Agra Tourism Welfare Chamber. Since everything is headed towards the tourism sector in our discussion so far, anything which has not been done properly, be it in terms of infrastructure, be it in terms of cleanliness, be it in terms of roads, pavements, it seems to have a bad effect, or rather a negative effect on those tourists who visit the city. And Agra is a city which attracts international tourists as well. Do you agree, as a representative of the tourism industry, that this is something which should have been dealt in a much better way so far?
Well, we have been dealing with it, but the issue is that we have been taking it in a knee-jerk manner.
Okay.
We see a problem, we form a solution, we make it happen. But what happens is that that particular solution is not connected to the rest of the city.
Okay.
So what is happening is that we have connected this area to the expressway, and an inner ring road is coming to the expressway and connecting Taj Mahal. But the rest of the city, apart from the Taj Mahal, is still unconnected to that part, because the traffic jams are there and other facilities that should be there, they have not been developed.
But
we are getting there.
No, there are promises being made. I'm throwing the house open for everyone, since all of you are prominent residents of the city. There are promises being made by the political parties. It is being said that the Agra city will have a metro soon. There are several flyovers which are under construction. I've also visited Agra city for quite a few times in the last few years. We've seen that perennial stage of construction of flyovers going on for quite some time now. Do you believe that promises have not been fulfilled properly? Is that what it is, Sumit ji? Would you agree?
I think so. You see, what has happened is the political clout of Agra in Delhi and in Lucknow somehow remains a little too small. They're not able to press their issues.
Lesser than the other cities?
Yes.
Be it Kanpur or be it Allahabad or Varanasi?
Maybe the stature of the politicians there is much bigger than the stature of the politicians who represent Agra.
I'll bring you in. Do you believe, Dr. Vajpayee, despite the iconic monument which we have in our background, the stature of this city in political circles or in the power corridors is not that high, and that is why the city is paying the price?
Yeah, so I would not agree with this suggestion that political stature of leadership is weak. Actually, what is that the political leaders are not behaving in responsible manner, and there is no popular pressure continuously after elections.
Okay, that's another problem.
So there should be a continuous pressure. Otherwise, every city has one MP. Might be there are ministers from this city. There we have a sports minister. We have been human resource minister, but they have not done anything. There is no pressure on them. So they are not continuously working for the.
Let me bring in Saxena Saab, who would have definitely reported on such aspects earlier as well. Do you agree that it's the leadership of this particular city or the area has not been that effective in putting the people's demand to the powers that be and ensuring that the developmental works are undertaken and finished properly on time?
देखिए जो प्रेजेंट सीन है डेमोक्रेसी का, उसमें जो हाउसेज हैं, चाहे वो पार्लियामेंट के हों चाहे वो असेंबलीज के हों, इनमें नॉर्मल फंक्शनिंग बहुत कम रह गई है. जहाँ तक कैबिनेट डिसीजंस होते हैं और वो गवर्नमेंट इम्प्लीमेंट कर देती है, और हमारे यहाँ का कैबिनेटों में पार्टिसिपेशन बहुत कम रहा है, कमजोर रहा है. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में था हमारा, वो विड्रॉल हो गया. आज आप ताजमहल को लेके हम बैठे हैं, मैं आपसे तहे दिल से कहना चाहता हूँ कि ताजमहल एयरपोर्ट देना भी जस्टिफाई नहीं कर पाया है. इससे ज्यादा दुखद बात क्या होगी. 150 किलोमीटर एरियल डिस्टेंस में दूसरा एयरपोर्ट नहीं बन सकता, इसलिए ना सैफई फैमिली चाहती है और ना आपके नोएडा वाले चाहते हैं.
Okay, so that's one more important aspect. Again, everything is coming back to your industry, Vishal. It seems you were saying earlier that yes, problems are being tackled. There are issues which have been dealt with, but they have been dealt with in isolation. Do you agree that so far what has been done, that is not enough? And issues like the need for an airport or the need for the rest of the city to be decongested, to be freed of the traffic jams, that is where the focus should be?
Well, let me just explain one thing. The airport is still there.
Okay.
We have an airport. It is functional. It can cater to flights, but they are not coming. Mainly because the Air Force does not permit proper operations of flights. So we just needed
An expansion of the airport.
something that could be outside the Air Force campus, and we got that. The problem is that we need about some 65 crores or something to acquire the land, and that could start construction. What's happening is that the final installment of that 65 crore is not coming.
Okay, that's about the airport.
सर इसको एक चीज बिल्कुल कहना चाहूंगा कि ये 65 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए, पर कोई भी गवर्नमेंट आए, मुझे नहीं लगता ये गवर्नमेंट 65 करोड़ दे देंगी, क्योंकि इसके बाद ना तो सैफई में बन पाएगा ना ग्रेटर नोएडा में बन पाएगा, क्योंकि 150 किलोमीटर का एरियल डिस्टेंस कंपल्सन है, और यहाँ बनने के बाद दोनों जगह के खेल बिगड़ जाएंगे, इसलिए वो ताजमहल की लोकेशन को भी justify नहीं करने देते.
Okay, that's one of the important issues. That brings me to a secondary aspect of this entire festival of election, Dr. Vajpayee. All these issues, for example, the stuck projects like airport or flyovers or making highways or roads, because of the political considerations, as Saxena ji was saying. Do you see that politics over the years has changed, or is it the same? 20 years ago, 30 years ago also there was a fight over developmental projects, and whosoever has the political hegemony, they used to get it. Is it the same? It looks like it is same.
No, I don't think that it is the same. Actually, politics depends upon the nature of political process, where people and leaders, there are two main ingredients. So I see a major change in the style of leadership, and the change is that most of the leaders, they are not motivated by public interest, I would say the public accountability. Who are the people joining politics? Why they are coming? If you answer these questions, you will come to know they are coming for selfish interest. They are not accountable to anybody. There are many other issues, casteism, parivarvad, the other things. So this selfishness, the clash between selfish interest and public issue, this is the major change.
Okay.
The selfish interest of money and power It has dominated the public interest.
It has dominated the political scene.
So this is the basic change in the national politics as well as politics of Uttar Pradesh. If you consider 1950s and right now.
I can see a very wry smile on Sumit Vibhav's face. You're an entrepreneur, as a member of CREDAI, you're a builder as well. Do you also see it in the same perspective? Have you ever faced certain problems wherein people in the politics are trying to assert themselves?
You see, I myself have contested.
Yeah, you have been a contestant in the last
assembly elections, and I feel that the political leadership in the city lacks a vision.
Okay.
There is no cohesiveness amongst the political class about the prospects that the city holds, the things that they can do together. I quite agree with Professor here that they have some personal vested interest. That could be one reason.
Okay.
But I see there is a lack of vision, and they absolutely, tomorrow if you go and ask the contestants what is the first thing that you are going to do about the city, I am definitely sure you will not get a proper answer. They will give you a roundabout answer and then they finish it off. So I think there is a lack of vision.
That brings me back to Saxena Saab. Exactly the same thing what I was saying a little earlier. The lack of that proper answer from the contestants or the political representative has been a constant thing. It was the same 10 years ago. It must have been same 20 years ago as well. Yeah.
देखिए रूट्स लेवल से अब नहीं आ रहे हैं पॉलिटिशियन, सीधे जंप करके आ रहे हैं और बिना स्ट्रगल किए हुए जो लोग सीधे आते हैं उन्हें रूट्स लेवल की प्रॉब्लम की कोई जानकारी नहीं होती है। वो ब्यूरोक्रेटिक जो चैनल से चीजें आती हैं उन्हें अडॉप्ट कर लेते हैं, चाहे वो मास्टर प्लान हो, चाहे आपके यमुना के रिवर फ्रंट का मामला हो। अब जैसे आप अक्सर सुनते रहते हैं कि इसमें शिप चलेंगे, नेविगेशन होगा, यमुना में पानी नहीं है, कहाँ से आएगा? कोई ब्यूरोक्रेट ने किसी ने प्लान बनाया हुआ, मिनिस्टर को तो शायद देखने का मौका नहीं मिला हुआ और वो कहे जा रहे हैं।
So basically plans with no solid
vision,
infrastructure backing behind it.
जी,
There was one event which happened during the last elections in which I contested. The tourism body here, they organized an event with the help of a local media, and they called all the contestants there, and they made all the contestants sign an affidavit that these are the priorities that we are going to do, and every contestant signed, and probably I was one of the last ones who went in, and when they gave me a chance to speak, I said, okay, I signed this document, but please ensure with the rest of the contestants that if this is not fulfilled, we are not contesting next time. But that doesn't happen.
That doesn't seem to have happened because only you seem to have stuck to the point. You're not contesting this time. Most of the others are. Vishal, I have a different question to you. You're a young entrepreneur, and the way Dr. Vajpayee and Saxena, Mr. Saxena are pointing out the changes in politics. Do you believe that it is the onus lies on the youth of the day, in the city as well, apart from the national perspective, to take initiative, enter the political spectrum, be a little more in the forefront? And that doesn't seem to be happening in Agra. Is that what you're saying?
That's what we are trying to do. The youth of Agra is very much aware of what's happening, and we are trying to come in the forefront and take over some of the responsibilities from our social leaders, so that we can make them understand that there are things that have changed from the past. Now the priorities of Agra have differed.
Are different than what they used to be 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
People are leaving Agra. The youth of Agra is not planning to stay in Agra just because there's no employment. There are several problems with the civic communities. Even the nightlife does not exist in Agra.
Okay, that's a very important point from a youth's perspective.
Yeah.
Dr. Vajpayee, that brings me to a counter question to you. You're a HOD of Political Science in Agra College. Agra has several colleges, and if I would not be wrong if I pointed out like that there are several good colleges and good schools out here. Do you agree with what Vishal is saying, that yes, the youth is slowly and slowly, taking charge, slowly and slowly moving towards the forefront of social issues, political issues?
I don't see actually. I think they may be more visible, but at the ground level, where the hard work lies, I don't think that youth, they are much mobilized in Agra than any part of this Pradesh.
Change is not that quick.
So
Change
social
is
media,
slower.
But at the ground level, you see the student politics, most of them are misguided. They don't know why they are fighting.
Okay.
Most of them turn out to be broker. And they are indulging in small petty things. But there, I would endorse this point: vision and intention. But literacy is not that much important. If you have vision and good intention, I think everybody knows what is good and what is bad, and they can do it.
They can do it.
They can do it.
They can.
Yeah.
Okay. One very important question which comes to mind when we have an election announcement in the state of Uttar Pradesh is the caste combination. Now, this might, not many people would like to talk about it because this might not seem a very, attractive issue. But then, let's face it, this is the reality of elections in Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Vajpayee, is this still the reality of the elections in Uttar Pradesh? You've been associated with the city for quite some time now. The caste politics is not yet over?
Yes, not over, and it's not likely to be over in near future.
Okay.
Caste and religious sentiments, they are shortcuts to political success. Shortcut to go, because in democracy, you need popular support, and you can mobilize popular support, garner political support on the basis of your development work, which you have not done. So this is the shortcut. I think the caste issue is a very complicated issue. It has two facets. One is social. Socially, the importance of caste is, of course, reducing. It is being reduced. There is no restrictions on inter-dining, these things have been relaxed. But caste consciousness as a political factor, this is being strengthened day by day. And most of the political parties active in Uttar Pradesh, whether we may not admit it, but they are identified one or two major caste groups.
Okay.
So this is going to be an important factor.
So it is, you say that the way politics is being done, specifically the caste-based politics, is here to stay for quite some time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is that, Saxena Saab, do you agree, you would agree with at least one point which I want to make, is that the caste-based politics has sustained itself so far. But would you agree with Dr. Vajpayee that it is going to sustain itself for quite some time now?
वाजपेयी जी का बहुत अच्छा अनुभव है और एनालिसिस है उनकी, और बिल्कुल सही बात है। पर ये आप खुद ही देख लीजिएगा कि ये चीफ मिनिस्टर, अपनी ये गवर्नमेंट ने, यूपी ने नोटिफिकेशन जारी किया, बैकवर्ड का दायरा बढ़ाया, फिर उस पर स्टे आया, कोर्ट का डायरेक्शन आया, इधर पोलराइजेशन माइनॉरिटी के करने की बात चल रही है। ये रिलीजन और कास्ट को जो फेड हो रही है, उसे स्ट्रांग करने के लिए पॉलिटिकल लोग परेशान हैं, पर ये कर नहीं पाएंगे। अब मेजर इशू इकोनॉमी हो गया है।
Okay, two quick questions to Vishal and Sumit ji before we wrap this up. Sumit ji, you've been on both sides. You're an entrepreneur, you're a representative of CREDAI, you have contested elections as well. What do you see, do you see any future, or rather any prospect in the immediate future for, basic issues, main important ground level issues in politics, or do you also believe that, it'll be surrounded by caste based politics, the calculations of this caste plus this caste, the winning combination?
You see, I think caste now would play a very limited role, caste and religion. As I see, it will play a very limited role. You see, it is there, always there on the hindsight. Because we have been taught and brought up, this caste holds this much votes in this particular constituency, so we need to field this candidate from here. We have the majority of this caste in this constituency, so we need to, and this party, they favor this particular caste and they favor this particular caste. But for the first time in UP, this time I am witnessing that votes are being sought on development.
On development.
The chief minister this time, the outgoing chief minister, is seeking re-election on Vikas. and he says काम बोलता है.
And the opposition, let me also bring in the second perspective. The opposition, which is the ruling party at the center, also says that the ruling party in the state has not done development. We will do development.
Now that is what exactly I was trying to come to.
That's what's going to happen. That's what the beauty of the election and democratic system in India is. That you have a place wherein everybody has a chance to go ahead and put forth his view.
Now what I was coming exactly to was, you see, there are both the aspects running together.
Okay.
You see, the one slogan says काम बोलता है, and the other one says यूपी को साथ पसंद है. That means साथ क्यों पसंद है? Because the combination of caste and
Again,
religion
you're pointing out
works.
the caste. Okay.
So that is
both things are going hand in hand.
hand.
That's what's saying. Let me conclude this interesting discussion with a comment from Vishal Sharma. You're the representative of the youth, an entrepreneur, somebody who's dabbled in journalism as well, and you also represent a section of the society which is now getting ready to take over the baton from the elder generation. Do you believe that caste is going to play a very important role in the years to come, or is it just going to be about development, or both of them will go hand in hand, as Sumit was pointing out?
Well, let's see, maybe in the initial years, maybe for the next 10 years, caste may play a role. But castes are slowly intermingling.
Okay.
They are disappearing. So, in the future, maybe about 25 years, we won't see a caste-based election.
So ultimately, what will matter will be development, and
It will
development
be
alone.
development, yeah.
The works which are being done by the ruling party or not being done by the representatives. Is that what it is?
We will see something like what happens in the US election.
Okay, let's have a concluding remark from Dr. Vajpayee. Yes, please.
Just of course, what they are saying, they are not asking votes on the basis of caste, because they cannot do it.
Okay.
They are asking the votes on the basis of development. But I am asking how they are selecting their candidates.
Okay, that's also an important process.
Number two, the most dangerous aspect, and which is likely to be more durable, is the politicization of bureaucracy and caste line in Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, so it's
bureaucracy.
so what you're pointing out is a clear indication that it's not as simple as it looks like on the face of it. There are several layers and layers of issues in elections, be it the assembly elections or the general elections, and it is coming up to be a very, very interesting fight, the political fight rather, in the state of Uttar Pradesh this time around. The people of this region, that is Agra, which is situated in the western Uttar Pradesh, will vote for their next government on 11th of February. We'll take your leave now, and we will come back again from a different city with a different panel of guests and maybe similar issues. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.